Hello and welcome. Today I'm going to be looking into Appalachia's darkest secret. Who, or what, is the Interloper, and what is its connection with another one of Appalachia's cryptids? To unravel this mystery, we'll start in the Lucky Hole mine, near to the asylum. Upon entering, to our right we have a terminal note. The note says your offering is acceptable to him. Going through the terminal messages, it belonged to an employee who was approached by a crazy old woman who wandered into the mine twice, and when he came around the third time the locks had been broken already. Looking around the other rooms on this side, we don't have anything of interest, so heading out we have a locked door and next to it some stairs, where we are first introduced to one of our main characters in this mystery, Jeff Lane.
The Interloper is here. I can feel it clearly. Last night, in visions more real than the senses, it called to me, and I go to it now. Signs are all around that I am not the only one to hear the call, though where they have failed, I will not, for it summons me alone in the end. Before I go deeper, for the truth revealed changes all. By its very nature, let it be known, in this world, the Interloper has chosen Jeff Lane as the conduit of the unknowable. Together, the hidden reality becomes manifest at long last.
Heading deeper into the mines, we start to see effigies and candles. Upon finding our second note in here, it says, "He is the one who came before, the firstborn of the wood. Blood wept from his branches, and he shared it with his believers." Skipping ahead even deeper into the mine, we find another note by an effigy that reads, "The wood gave him life, gave him strength, but the blood gave him purpose. He gathered us, he taught us to share as he shared." By yet another effigy, we have a note reading, "His believers, united by blood. He told us of our new home, that we would approach the faithless and be denied 3 times, but that he would open the way." The employee wrote about these people 3 times, so did the Interloper predict this would happen? Going further in, we come across the centre point of this mine with all entrances leading here, and it looks to be the main area for the cultists as well. On top of an altar we have a coffin, and behind that a huge effigy. The note reads, "Blessed are you, the first priestess of the wood. Through you we heard his voice. Through you we gained his strength." This coffin is for the old woman, and she brought the cultists here. Going even deeper, we come across a hidden passageway. Going down here there isn't much of interest, but on the way out, there is another even more hidden passage that takes us deeper underground. Upon entering the chamber, we're greeted by skeletons and some creature that seems to be alive. This is the Interloper, or at least a physical representation, and it's still alive. Looks like the occultists gave it their blood and died, and looking around the chamber, we're greeted by cold, staring eyes from the faces on the walls. Thinking back to the note we read, it looks like it's coming out of the ground and was born from wood, so the cultists were giving it their blood to give it a purpose. To look more into this and where the cult came from, we should start with another well-known cult in the area, the Mothman cult, another being we don't know much about. Starting at the museum, there doesn't seem to be much, just memorabilia to do with the Mothman, but nothing interesting. Checking upstairs, there is even less to do with the Mothman up here, but if we unlock the downstairs bathroom door, there is a secret passage hidden behind. Going downstairs, we're greeted by more effigies, very similar to the ones in Lucky Hole Mine. At the front there are two notes. The all-knowing Mothman has been summoned forth. Though we were not all so lucky as to notice it, Brother Charles saw the Mothman appear out of the corner of his eye, and heard whispers of impending disaster. But as quickly as he appeared, our saviour was gone. The Mothman showed visions of terrible floods to occur tomorrow. The only way to survive, he says, is to find higher ground or be swept away. Our brothers and sisters will be warned. Those who scoff at us and turn away from the way of the Mothman shall perish for their foolish disregard, while we gather on the rooftops to praise the coming of the raging waters in the early dawn light. We of the cult of the Mothman seek the infinite cosmic wisdom of the Mothman himself, for it is his appearance that portends disaster, and in heeding his warnings we may live as others around us perish to their fated doom. We welcome visits from the Mothman with open arms and minds. Yes, we shall willingly summon him forth, to appear to us who revere him and divulge his secrets. True believers among you gather for this evening. We welcome you, O Mothman, accept our humble invitation and divert us from disaster. So, the Mothman appeared to show the cultists that a flood was coming. What it didn't tell them, though, is that it was a flood of fire from the bombs being dropped. In Point Pleasant, we do have a familiar voice turn up as well. This is Jeff Lane's house. Looking around, we have one of the Mothman tapes. And a note telling him he left his keys at the garage and thanking him for the Mothman poster. Next to it, we have another tape.
There are other things in this world now that cannot be explained. The end of the world has awoken. Something. We all know the Mothman is out there, stalking and watching us. But what of the unseen? There are things we can only glimpse in our minds. Great entities beyond our comprehension. The Mothman is a creature more like us than the unknowable horrors in the peripheral vision of our subconscious minds. No longer just a false memory now. I have heard a tale of this entity made real, deep in the earth. The storyteller was mad by any reckoning, but his story no less true. My name is Jeff Lane, and I will lay bare this watcher. No matter how deep I must go, I will come to know the true nature of the Interloper.
So, Jeff started to split off from the Mothman cult due to finding out about the Interloper, and we know he wasn't with the rest of the cult when they died as he turned up in the Lucky Hole Mine. Now let's go check the garage though. Looking around we can find the poster borrowed, and going downstairs we have an effigy and a sacrificed mole rat along with a coffin tucked under the stairs. These aren't the only places these cults turn up, and another important one is the Kanawha County Cemetery. Here we have a large church, and inside the pews are filled with people who appear to have died when the bombs dropped. The walls are lined with effigies. Looking around, we have rat poison and most of the people have cups next to them. Did they kill themselves to be closer to their god? Going upstairs, we find our first unwilling human sacrifice, and it looks relatively recent as well. Is someone or something still trying to summon the Interloper? One last location at Helvetia has a terrifying looking version of the Mothman and a note referring to him as the Harvester. I think Jeff had it wrong. He said that the Mothman was a thing, but the Interloper was otherworldly. Now we know a lot of this hidden lore is based around Lovecraftian horrors. The Interloper itself looks like a malformed Cthulhu. What if the Mothman in this universe is also some kind of Lovecraftian horror? The other cryptids have explanations and signs for where they came from, but nothing regarding the Mothman, and we can't forget the fact it can essentially teleport as well without the use of technology. If we take the Interloper to be Cthulhu, then the Mothman in this series seems to be Nyarlathotep, the one who wanders the earth while the others are sleeping. He cultivates followers and is deceptive and manipulative. So what if the Mothman is trying to get people to bring the Interloper into this plane of existence? And finally, in another video I mentioned Darmok and Jalad at Tanagra, a reference to an old Star Trek episode where two captains who don't understand each other have to come together to fight a common foe. At Tanagra, we have in the centre of the landmass another giant head, a staple for the series regarding some eldritch horror. What if the Mothman is trying to awaken the Interloper and we're going to fight it at Tanagra? We've seen part of it in the cave, it's definitely large and still growing, so it may even be the same size or bigger than the Scorchbeast Queen. What do you think? Let me know in the comment section below, and if you like the content or learn something new, go ahead and give me a like and subscribe for future content just like this one.